Carl and Brethren here from Brrraaains A Head-Banging Life, gbhblofficial for short, and it's reaction time. And very excited to talk about this because I think this band's just brilliant. They're wonderful at what they do, and they seem to be getting better and better as they kind of go through the stages. They become a more professional outfit. They're doing more professional videos. Musically, they're stretching their legs. Enough so that the fact that the term emo, which is kind of what they called themselves to begin with, didn't really fit. I never felt like it fit because there's elements of punk here, there's elements of hardcore, there's metal here, there's a lot of elements to this band that don't necessarily put them in it, but ultimately there are elements of emo too as well, a bit of pop punk and things like that. It is Second Cities. I don't think, even if you've never really listened to them, why are you laughing?
You keep saying stuff like emo and pop punk.
Oh, well, even though I don't know necessarily if you've listened, because we've never done a video about this. Now, I did actually consider not doing this with you and leaving and saving it for Dan. But I thought, no, that's too easy. And plus, Dan would be like, it's not post-hardcore, so you're not listening to it. So I thought, no, it has to be you, because this is an opportunity for you to hear Second Cities. Now, I haven't heard this track, because this track, as of the time of recording, is not out till June 16th. So we are getting way ahead of it here. But I have got access to it early specifically for this reason. This track follows on from their previous single as well, friend of mine. So you haven't got to have heard that to, enjoy it or anything like that. But story-wise, in the video and the character of Bagman, I think it's Bagman, I think they call it Bagman is going to be present, I believe. But that's just part and parcel of them changing and building and creating a bit more of a narrative around a band. They are from Birmingham, the UK as well. So one of a lot. All right, they're not from London, but you know, we don't harbour no grudges for you Northerners. You know what I mean? Second Cities.
Class themselves as Midlanders or something.
Yes, it is, isn't it? Yeah, it's the Midlands, of course. Yeah. As we said on other videos, if you're north of the river, you're north to us. Second Cities, you must have heard and seen reference to this band covered on the site by me.
Yeah, I have. Yeah, I have.
Have you listened to anything by them?
I haven't listened to anything by them. Nope, not going to pretend.
That makes for a fascinating reaction then, really, because I am familiar with them, but not this track, whereas you are completely unfamiliar with their sound and probably have already created an image in your head.
Yeah, unfortunately, an unfortunate one. So I'm hoping it's going to be better. Well, I mean, that's sometimes a good thing, right? Because now my bar's low, so you've got to be. You know, you can only way is up, innit? Like Yaz would say.
Yes. Who? Yaz.
Yeah, the only way is up.
I don't know who sung that. Yaz.
Yeah, I think so. Anyway,
I've no idea.
Wrong. If any other heavy metals on here are thinking yes, it is Yaz, like you can give it a thumbs up and let me know. I was right.
No, you're right. It is. The Only Way Is Up, sung by Yaz, but spelled Y-A-Z-Z. We're getting off topic here, Brendan.
We are, yeah. But that'll be our next reaction.
Yes. We're talking about weird ways of...
What is the name of this song?
Misery. I would call it Misery.
No, but it's not, though, is it?
No, I'm about to say it is, of course, stylized as MSRY or capital letters.
As in, we have a problem with vowels or something like that.
Misery. Yes. But yes, basically it's Misery, really. Yeah, let's do this in three. In 3, 2, 1, go.
Video?
They're getting very good at this nowadays. I think creeper vibes.
Oh, that's it. Keep making this better for me. Emo, pop punk, and creeper.
I'm just a kid who don't exactly get what grief is. At 15, it's a lot to deal with. Won't feel it till I'm 20. Now it begins to take its own, but it takes more than you know. Misery loves company.
Said Misery. Now there's Misery by Second Cities. I am going to get started with this one. Look, because I just want to pour positivity. I thought that was awesome. There's so much about it I love. There's so much about that Second City sound I adore. I love what they did in this. Vocalist Jamie Martin, I think he's so fucking good these days. I really, really think, and not that he wasn't back a couple of years ago when I first heard them, but I think he's got so much stronger, particularly in the clean singing as well. But there's something about his vocals that I particularly like, and it's a bit of a weird one. I'm sure you find this, I often find that when you listen to bands from regional areas and stuff like that, that you don't often get their accents come through, because singing and speaking are two different things. So when you listen to an American band, you wouldn't be necessarily able to pick out that they're from America and so on, man. But every so often with Second Cities, you really get a strong English twang in certain words and lines he says. And I love that. I actually really like that, considering, you know, I just find that fun. I find it interesting. I find it's really cool to have that aspect to it. It kind of really identifies as well with who they are. We have obviously a really melodic kind of like, oh, okay, is this what we're going to have for the track? But then we get a nice tone shift and we get a bit of a raw, a more hardcore style sound as well, with these lovely melodic passages, some exciting guitar soloing, really well structured, strong chorus. Love the video and how the story's playing out. I just really like that. What do you think?
What do I think?
That's the question. That's what everyone's waiting for, really.
It didn't start off fantastically for me, right? Being brutally and totally bluntly honest.
That's what we want.
The isolated vocals at the beginning, I wasn't loving. I didn't despise them or anything like that. It wasn't like, oh my god, this is terrible, I'm leaving. You know, it was just like, not really feeling feeling it. After that, I didn't really care. Like, to be honest with you, vocally it was fine. It didn't come up again. It was just like a couple of moments in the isolated quiet bit as it built up. Once it kicked in, you had the guitars and the drums and all that, and I felt the drums were really quite far forward in the mix, which I quite liked as well. They were very much prominent in the ears. It isn't the style of music that I listen to generally. That's the truth. I can see like why you mention things like emo and pop punk, but without committing to them, because I can feel like the traces of an influence of them there, but I also wouldn't class it as emo. I wouldn't class it as pop punk. I wouldn't know where to class it. I feel like it's a blend of a lot of things, which is cool. I like that as well. I like the energy throughout the song. I think the chorus is really, really good. I like the guitar solo, the longer one. I was like the short one, but I was like, oh, that was cool. But then I got a longer one, so I was like, fuck that short one. So the overall, I really liked the track, but I'm afraid of this band. That's what I would say, because I have a feeling that I hope I will be proven wrong with, that I might have just heard like one of those songs where I end up really not liking a band, but there's a couple of tracks that are bangers. Because I've style nothing visually, not like about, I don't mean style as in how they dress and that, but the style of the track is not my normal thing.
Yeah.
However, I really liked that. And that just makes me a bit nervous that, well, is this like a one-off then, man? Am I going to listen to other Second City songs and they're going to be more on the emo side, more on the pop punk side, and I'm going to be like, they tricked me. They pulled me in with a good rocking kind of energetic, track that you can quite easily listen to be honest with you, and easily get into. And then I'm going to turn the next song on and it's going to be like Bowling for Soup or something like that.
This is the new Grim Gots.
It could be, yeah.
And the reason why I say that is because I automatically I'm like, all right, well, I've got to show you more then, because I would say that for the most part, Second Cities are faster and heavier than this. And I can't say anything. I really can't. But I have had a sneak look of what will be coming in the future. And I fucking loved that as well. It's one of those where it's like, okay, because I hadn't heard this track, I was a little worried because I know what they're capable of, I know what they're able to do, but it's like, okay, it's called Misery. Does that mean that we're going to get a slow, more emo-driven track? That I knew that was going to be off-putting potentially to you because it's not really what you like to listen to. I'm glad it had faster, rockier moments, stuff like that. But I'm also like, okay, and it's got to be, like I say, a Grimgott's thing in a sense. And what I mean by that, if you watch our Grimgott videos, is I've spent far too long trying to convince Brendan of Grimgott's brilliance with many different variations and tracks. And most of the time you've come away going, I really like that, but you're not sure yet until we eventually hit one that you did and so on. And we could have a similar thing on our hands here, basically.
We started off on a good one though. That's it.
Yes.
It's just a weird thing. It's like in my head, like I've really enjoyed the song. I really did. Yeah, I thought it was really, really cool. That early moment of not being 100% on the vocals, like I'm talking like milliseconds here, and then it's into the track and it's forgotten. Like the only reason I even brought it up is because I wrote it down. If I hadn't wrote it down, I wouldn't have even fucking remembered.
Yeah, fair
to
enough.
be completely honest with you. But I remember I wrote down, oh, this reminds me of something that happened with Fall Out Boy when I was a lot younger, where somebody played me a track and I didn't know who Fall Out Boy were. I certainly don't think a lot of people did at the time. They played me a track and I was like, oh, that's pretty catchy. I don't even know what the sound was. I was like, that's pretty cool. Then I listened to more Fall Out Boy and I was like, what the fuck? These guys suck.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't think you'd have the same problem here, but then I can't always speak for what works for one and another.
Look, judging on that song, anyway, that's what we're doing here. That's
it, yeah.
And that's a really cool song, man. Really, really cool. I quite like the video, but I don't know this whole bagman thing. So, like, to me, I don't understand that yet. You know, there's just a dude with a bag in his head wandering about for some reason, and then they was all tied up in ropes. You know, I don't know how things go down in Birmingham, but in London, that's not allowed.
So I'm going to speak a little honestly here, and this is the sort of things, I guess we don't really say it often, but I'm going to say it now. Many bands, particularly in the UK, you know, you'll get their music and you'll think, yeah, this is a good song and all that, but you'll notice that there isn't much of a professional outfit here, whether it be a press pack, whether it be a bio, whether it be pictures. You're just kind of like, okay, all right, you haven't got much money, and fair enough, it's hard work out there and so on. But ultimately, it's hard to then feel like you want to commit behind that band, put too much time behind them, particularly because if they're not putting much effort in, there's a chance they're not going to put effort in long term and so on. In fact, recently, there's been a couple of bands that have kind of fallen by the wayside that we have spent time supporting. And I'm kind of just like, the fuck, what? Like, it's frustrating in aspects like that. I'm seeing the opposite with Second Cities. When I first came across them, I thought they were raw. Not unprofessional, it's the wrong word I want to use, but one that was definitely a bit like, okay, yeah, I've heard of your type of band that just goes to the pubs, plays the local scene and stuff like that. That's not what I'm seeing now. They have transformed from the videos to the outfits to their photos to the pushing to how they're staggering these releases and trying to tell a story across these. I'm seeing a band go, right now we'll get, like, they found their identity, they found what's working for them, and that's what's really exciting. It's like the opposite feel. I'm watching someone really cool actually grow up.
But when you do have like that's exactly it. I was saying it's like a child to a degree. That means to sound disrespectful to them, but you know, and that's a really cool thing, you know, especially for you if you've been on the journey with them, you know.
But for a little while, like I said, I've not been there from the start, but yeah.
You know, for me, it's a slightly a different position to come in at, isn't it? Because I'm coming in at this with a band so kind of in their infancy. I don't necessarily think the right thing for me to do is say, oh, I'll go back and listen to previous stuff. I might eventually one day if I get more and more into them, and then I want to see where they started from and all that. But actually, that would probably potentially have the opposite effect on me here, because I'm like, I like that. Let me see where this is leading, you know, to see if I then join the train and such, you know, get on board.
The better thing was just to take 2 steps back, go to the 2 previous singles, and then follow up with the one that will come later on in the year as well. But for now, that's MSRY. We are recording this weeks before it comes out. By the time you see it, it will be out, so you can go listen to it on its own without us jabbering about it. What do you reckon? Let us know in the comments. Thank you very much for watching. If you liked what you saw, please help us out by giving us a thumbs up and hitting that subscribe button. If you really liked what you saw, consider donating to keep the website and channel running by buying us a coffee via our coffee page or picking up some merch from our Big Cartel store. You can check us out on gbhbl.com as well as via our social media, Facebook, Instagram and Twitter, as well as listen to our interviews via SoundCloud, Apple Music and Spotify. Just search for GBHBL. Games, horror and heavy metal. What else is life for?